Bloody genius! I do love field research. Whoops-a-daisy. You got a little something there.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Ghostly French Toast, and today we're doing a lore video on, it's not really a lore video, it's more connecting the dots between two games, Titanfall 2 and Apex Legends. And this lore video is going to be on Horizon, so enough dawdling around, and let's dive on in. Horizon, the newest character of the game, brings her and her homeworld of Olympus. And Olympus actually plays a big part into my overall theory of Horizon. So basically, get started and understand anything, we gotta understand the Titanfall 2 campaign. So at the end of the Titanfall 2 campaign, we see the arc and the fold weapon basically being used and all that. And we see a miniature fold weapon in the mission Effect and Cause, where one of my favorite missions, where Jack Cooper and BT go back, travel between back in time to when the base was up and running, and when it was all, well, destroyed, to say. And one of my main theories is, alright, I'm just going to state my main theory. This was another testing site for the Ark. So, if we look at the whatchamacallit, how everything looks, how pristine it is, doesn't this remind you of basically the future effect of Effect and Cause? So, and because, example, when you go to the future at the end of the level, everything's so pristine, so nice. There's glass tubes, and we see glass tubes in where the area where Logo's parents were killed, all that. And it's just everywhere. It looks so identical, you can probably, if you're asking a random day viewer, they'd probably think this is the same area. So, to basically add on to my theory that this was another testing site, is the entire destroyed area. So, to basically talk about the destroyed area, I have to talk about Ash, in my personal theory. This is more of a theory video than an actual lore video, but I actually wanted to talk about this because this is actually, I think, this actually got me back into the Apex lore. If you can tell, I made more Dark Souls videos lately because I enjoy Dark Souls, but this actually brought me back. So, Ash. So then the woman in the Horizon cinematic, we see her basically betray Horizon and leave her into space to die. My personal theory is that's Ash, because the voice actor sounds the same, and also she has the same characteristics, like how she looks, all that, physical characteristics of what Ash looked like. And we also know that at the end of the Season 5, whatever you want to call it, adventure, questing, we see her say one of Horizon's lines, like, "Oh, dearie, sorry for both betrayal, oh, dearie," all that. And that's something Horizon says, and if you were a lab partner in Horizon, you would probably know her phrases, or what she says, her quick wit lines, whatever you want to call them. So it makes sense that this ties back to Titanfall 2. And since we talked about basically the big energy rift, let's talk about what Ash, if we're going off that theory, Ash got from Horizon. She got this black hole crystal, and if we look at the basically effects of Olympus, sorry, it's been a long day. If we look at the effects of Olympus, we see the black, basically huge matter, just all right there. And now, since we talked about Ash and all that, we can tie this back to Titanfall 2. So the reason this ties back to Titanfall 2 and Olympus, all Horizon, all that, I believe that this was a mini fold weapon, because if we look, or a test, because we know there was a test in one of the Hammond labs on Typhon, and we know that they probably had to conduct more tests elsewhere. What better place to do a test in a sky that's very remote and no one can really get hurt, to say, besides the people living? And it would make sense because Olympus was facing an energy crisis, and the IMC/Taman Robotics basically discovered this alien artifact that can basically produce amounts of energy to destroy planets. So why not try to replicate that basically energy and try to make more of it, like more of the arcs, more all that, try to make more. So that also makes sense. That also checks out that the IMC were trying to make another one, more energy. And we know in the trailer that they're facing an energy crisis, so it makes sense how the IMC was basically just using Olympus as another test site. And another theory to basically prove that IMC/Apex Predators were involved in this was there's some theory speculating around that Viper was actually in there, in the Horizon cinematic. He was the one who was like to Ash, like, hey, you got the thing? And there's some theories that go along with it with the time, because it takes about, I think about, like, if I recall correctly, like, it takes 30 years after the Titanfall 2 campaign. So it kind of speculates, and if this is Ash, and she's still in her human body, but I don't know. My personal theory is that Ash got her body just like right after the incident, and she was turned into a simulacrum after that. If you don't know what a simulacrum is, it's basically what Revenant is. He can't die. Your example, Hammond Robotics uploads consciousness of high-ranking people and assassins into robots so they can't die and all that. So I just really thought this was interesting. I feel like more people should know about this, because I feel like a lot of people don't understand the story, because personally a lot of Apex players haven't really played Titanfall 2. So I feel like it's interesting to get the lore out there and just tell everyone about it. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video as much as I did, and see you next time on Ghostly French Toast. Bye.